Welcome to KMVT 15 Sports. It's high school volleyball. The Menlo School Knights are on the road visiting the St. Francis Lancers. The Lancers come into tonight with a record of 7-4, 2-0 at home. And Menlo is 6-6, 0-2 on the road. I'm Rhett Anderson coming to you from Raskob Gymnasium here at St. Francis High School. Ready to get started here between the Lancers and the Knights. That was Menlo's Lita Vandermeer, senior outside hitter. Menlo to serve. St. Francis on the board with their first point of the afternoon. One to one here early. Menlo to serve. Back row, set right side. What a kill, down and in. 2-2, St. Francis ties it up. Great play there from the senior Amanda Saray. Menlo to return. Here's the kill, down and in, right down the middle. Carly Deal couldn't get there in time for the Lancers. Check out this replay. Perfect positioning. Menlo leading 3-2, and here's the serve. From the back row, Deal again with the kill. Great return from Menlo here on the near side. Tipped, and it looks like St. Francis went into the net. That'll be 4-2 in favor of the Knights. (4-2) Menlo with service. It was tipped on the far side, still got down and in the back row. Menlo, 3 quick ones, and now lead 5-2 here in the first game. Another big kill, that time out of Bridget Canty, returned by Menlo. Menlo to kill, up and in, and way out of bounds. So Menlo scores 4 straight points. They lead 6-2, and we'll take a timeout here on KMVT 15. Welcome back to KMVT 15 Sports. Knights leading the Lancers 6-2 here in the first game. They scored 4 straight, and the Lancers took a timeout. Coming to you from Raskob Gymnasium at St. Francis High School. This is actually the last game that will ever be played in this gym. As St. Francis comes out of the timeout strong there. Last game ever to be played in this gymnasium. That was Bridget Canty with the kill to make it 6-3. Lancers trailing with the serve. Off the arm of Menlo's Dia Dressel. Out of bounds, and that's 2 straight out of the timeout for the Lancers. 6-4. Canty serving. Soft floater up and over the net. Menlo's got it. blocked back over to their side. From the back row, that's Lita Vandermeer. Menlo's got it. And the kill goes out of bounds on the far side. Heads up play there. Knights leading 7-5. Make that 8-5. Ball bouncing around. Here's the serve from Menlo. Taken in the back by libero Izzy Knox. And the kill is down and in. Great play there. 8-6. Here's Jenny Kellogg back to serve for St. Francis. Nice and easy over the net. One return all the way back over to St. Francis side, out of bounds. Well, there's an easy point. Doesn't get much easier than that. 8-7 now. Close game here early. Kellogg still the serve into the net. And Menlo takes a point. Substitutions coming in to serve. This will be Kristen Sellers coming in for Menlo. She replaces Haley Hodge. Here's St. Francis, set across, down and in. What a kill, great play. That was St. Francis's Carly Deal. She's been all over the place. To serve, this is Kristen Bayer. Once again, it glances off the arm of Menlo's Lita Vandermeer in the back row. Ball goes out of bounds. Point Lancers, they've tied it up at 9 apiece. Bayer still to serve. Sails out of bounds, way too strong into the back wall. Bayer sends it out of bounds. It'll be a point Menlo, and they'll get the serve. Menlo is coached by Steve Cavella. Nice return there in the back row. That was Dia Dressel once again over to the Lancers now. Nice setup for Bridget Canty. Menlo tips it over and down. Oh, the Lancers were not expecting that at all. A little misdirection. Watch this, nice little tip. Anyways, as I was saying, Steve Cavella, head coach for Menlo. He was actually a former assistant varsity coach for the boys team here at St. Francis. Recently moved over and took the head job for the girls at Menlo. 11-10 now. Menlo leading by 1. Ooh, tough call there, back row. That was Lita Vandermeer. Let it go, thinking it was going out of bounds. In by a hair. St. Francis scores to make it 11-11. Tied up here in the first game. Serving is Ava Gustafson. Peyton Mack set up in the middle. Easy play for the 6-foot junior. Down and in, easy point, 12-11 Menlo. Menlo leading by 1 to serve. St. Francis to return and over. That's Jenny Kellogg. Here's the kill. Nice block up at the net from Carly Deal and Amanda Saray. 13-12, St. Francis. Excuse me. Menlo. Menlo leading by 1, St. Francis to serve. Lita Vandermeer on the kill, came into the net. That'll be a point for the Lancers. They tie it up at 13 apiece. Serving is Carly Deal there in the back row. You can see her there on the near part of your screen. Set across. Oh my goodness, what a play. Lita Vandermeer. Great set from Elisa Merton. Merton back to serve now. Nice dig. There's a set. And that's St. Francis' Ginny Kellogg. Nice return from Menlo. Great tip over to St. Francis now. Across the court. Wow, what a play. Jenna Adams, monster kill. No way that Jessica Houghton from Menlo could get there. 14 apiece. Libero Izzy Knox serves out of bounds. 15-14 Menlo. Visitors with a 1-point advantage here in the first game. Service, Knox. Ooh, great play at the net. Wow, that was Ava Gustafson to get the ball over and down. Out of bounds. Great hustle play from Gustafson. Couldn't get it inbounds, though, out by a hair. Menlo takes a point. They lead by 2. Heads up play there from Bridget Canty. Sees the defense coming, just tips it over. Izzy Knox on the dig. There's Knox again. Set. Hitting from the back row. That's Carly Deal. Good return from Menlo. Long rally here. Good back and forth. That was Bridget Canty with the kill. Well, the best rally of the game so far comes to an end in favor of Menlo. They now lead by 2, 17-15. Ava Gustafson got a hand on it there at the net, but point Menlo, they lead by 2. Here are the Lancers to return. Oh, embarrassing there for Menlo. Like in baseball when they're calling each other off in the outfield and nobody gets it. Drops in. This broadcast of KMVT 15 Sports is brought to you by the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, part of the Sutter Health Network. Choose your PAMF doctor today. Meanwhile, the Lancers take another point. They tie it up at 17 here in the first game. Serving is Claire Aguirre. Great serve in the back left corner, an even better dig from Jessica Houghton. Izzy Knox with a dig for the Lancers. And it looks like Menlo went into, St. Francis went into the net. So a point from Menlo. They lead by 1, 18-17, and Kristen Sellers will serve. Sails out of bounds. Point Francis, just like that, they're back in it. Bayer to serve, tips the net. Peyton Mack gets a hand on it, but not enough of a hand. Goes out of bounds, and that'll be St. Francis's point. (20 to 19), excuse me, 19 to 19, all tied up. The Menlo Park Knights visiting the St. Francis Lancers in the very last game ever to be played here at Raskov Gymnasium. 19-19, game one. Kristen Bayer to serve. Menlo returns. Great dig there from Elisa Merton. Back over to the Lancers. Here's the set, far side. Kill goes out of bounds, too strong, and it's 20 to 19. Scratch that, 19-19. Sorry, I misspoke. Great heads-up play from Alyssa Merton. We've seen him get the Lancers with that a couple of times already. Ties it up at 20 apiece. Boy, this game has been back and forth, except for that 4 or 5 point stretch by Menlo at the beginning of the game. It's been tit for tat. One for St. Francis, one for Menlo. 2 here and 2 there. But with that kill, the Lancers go up 21 to 20. And Carly Deal is back to serve. That was Lita Vandermeer. Great heads-up play from the senior. Got it right down where nobody was sitting. There's Carly Deal from the back row. There's Deal. Nice placement down and in. Izzy Knox back to serve. Lancers leading by 1, 22 to 21. Ooh, great kill there. Lita Vandermeer once again, she's all over the place. Menlo ties it up there. Here's Vandermeer from the left side. She favors that left side, or she has so far anyways. Now she's back to serve. Here's Vandermeer. Service, return back row. Lancers tip in the middle, down and in. Great heads-up play. That was Kristen Bayer. Beautiful placement. Lancers up by 1. To serve is Bridget Canty. Menlo returns. Same heads-up play once again. That's Dia Dressel. Here's Dressel. (23 to 23). Carly Deal's dig doesn't get there in time. 24 to 23. A 1-point lead for the Menlo Knights. Lancers take a timeout and we'll be back.
As a busy mom of 3 kids, I find it extremely convenient to access My Health Online. My Health Online's messaging service allows me to keep in close contact with our doctor.
Being able to email the doctor with questions gave us assurance that they do take an interest in the patients. That's why we've been with PAN for more than 10 years and keep adding members, the newest member.
Welcome back to KMVT 15 Sports. The St. Francis Lancers host the visiting Menlo Knights. Menlo's up by 1, 24-23. And they have the serve here in game 1. Chants of "Let's Go Lancers" reverberating through the stadium here. Mia Vandermeer has the serve. Into the net, no dice. Bridget Canty hits it a little bit too low. Menlo gets their 25th point. They take game 1, 25-23. And we'll be right back.
KMVT 15 provides an array of professional media services for businesses. Our video services include ribbon cuttings, grand openings, promotional, training, corporate culture, testimonial, and much more. By hiring our professional staff, you are helping to support our mission to provide resources and educational opportunities to the community. Give us a call today.
Welcome back to KMVT 15 coverage of high school volleyball. It's the St. Francis Lancers and the visiting Menlo Park Knights. Knights won the first game 25-23. Menlo is coached by Steve Cavella, who actually has some history here at St. Francis. He is the former boys assistant varsity coach at St. Francis. And prior to that, he led Crystal Springs to 3 CIF section titles, 05, 06, and 2010. First point is taken by Menlo. They lead 1-0 here in the second game. Some substitution confusion down there on the sideline. Back to the action, 1-0 Menlo. Miscommunication on the rotation. Point Menlo, they lead 2-0. Timeout taken by the Lancers. 2-0 Menlo here on KMVT 15. Welcome back to the action. Menlo serves. St. Francis tries to get there in time. Ball ends up over by their own bench. They give up another point to start out, and it's 3-0 Menlo. First 2 points were on a couple of technicalities involving substitutions. Menlo now leads 3-0 here in the second game, and 1-0 for the match. Oh, great kill from the Lancers, Carly Deal, here on the near side. Deal gets the Lancers on the board. They trail 3-1 to Menlo. Three to 2, St. Francis trailing by 1 now. Here's the serve. Peyton Mack set up in the middle, out of bounds, far side. 3-3, and the Lancers have tied it up 3 straight. Still serving for St. Francis, Amanda Hubbard. Here she is again, tie game, 3 apiece. Lita Vandermeer once again. Watch for her there on the far side. Reads the defense, puts it where nobody's watching. Menlo leading by 1. Jessica Houghton to serve. Here's the return. Menlo's got it. Net violation against St. Francis. Point Knights, and they lead 5-3. Jessica Houghton still back to serve. Great block on the near side. That was Elisa Merton and Mia Vandermeer, Lita's little sister. Tag team to get the block. It was actually Vandermeer got her hands on it. Heads up play from the sophomore. 6-3, Menlo up by a triple. Kill flies out of bounds from Dagny Duncan. Oh, it was actually ruled in, my mistake. Take that back, it'll be 6-4. St. Francis takes the point. From where I could see it, that looked like it was out of bounds. So Menlo up 2, the Lancers can't get to it. The Knights take a point and they're now up 7-4. Back to serve is Elisa Merton. Returned by Jenny Kellogg. Great heads-up block. That's Mia Vandermeer again, her second block in the last 3 points. There's Vandermeer in the middle. Gets her hand on it. Point Knights, 8-4. Merton serves it into the net. It'll be 8-5. Lancers trailing by 3 now. Jenna Adams to serve for the Lancers. The return goes off the hands of Dia Dressel and out of bounds. Point Lancers now trailing by 2, 8-6. So a similar start to this game as to the last one. Lancers down by a handful and slowly climbing back in. Here's Lita Vandermeer, a little tip over the net. Nice dig from the Lancers. Another little tip, ball hangs up on the net. And Kristen Bayer with the kill. Back right corner. Watch Bayer, middle of the net. Still serving, Jenna Adams. Back right, ball bounces up and around in the rafters, goes down into the crowd. Vandermeer can't get there, doesn't have enough space. Tied up at 8 now, Lancers have come back. Adams still the serve. Here's Vandermeer, far side. Back left corner, great placement, 9-8. In case you're wondering, they are sisters. Lita's a senior and Mia is a sophomore. Vandermeer, that's Lita Vandermeer, back to serve. Great return and kill from the Lancers, wow. Just too fast for Jessica Houghton to catch up with. 9-9. Another net violation against the Lancers. They trail by 1 to Menlo, 10-9. Mia Vandermeer back to serve now. Matt got her hands on it at the net, but nobody was there to pick it up. Point St. Francis. Heads up play from Amanda Hubbard. For St. Francis, they now lead for the first time in this game, 11-10. Kellogg sails one past the back line. Tied up at 11. Bayer back to serve now with the Lancers leading by 1. There's Bayer. Here's the serve, hits the net. A little too low, 12-12. Dia Dressel will take service in the back for Menlo. Tipped by Menlo. Great heads-up play here on the near side. That was Elisa Merton to keep it alive. Over to the Lancers. Here's a kill. Mack with the block. Vandermeer straight up in the middle. Little set from Mack. Gets there in time, but it's back over to the Menlo. A lot of confusion here. Well, look at that. Mack got a kill, but it hit the net and bounced off of Carly Deal's back. Watch Deal in white on the near side. Hits her back and goes down. A 1-point lead for Menlo. Lancers return. Mack with a tip. Vandermeer to set near side. Vandermeer again. 15-12, another 3-point lead. That equals the largest lead of the night for Menlo. Here goes Vandermeer again. Another tip, another kill. 16-12, a 4-point lead for the Knights. Timeout, St. Francis. I'd like to remind you that thanks to the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, we'd like to thank them for their continued support of KMVT's high school sports coverage. Welcome back to KMVT 15 Sports. Menlo Knights on the road, taking on the St. Francis Lancers. Knights leading by 4, 16-12. Knights to serve, Lancers return. Vandermeer again, off target this time. Point St. Francis, 16-13. Menlo on top. Libero Jessica Houghton to serve for Menlo. Great dig in the back row. That was Dia Dressel. An even better kill on the far side. That was Carly Deal. Dagny Duncan with a heads-up play at the net. 18-14, a 4-point lead for Menlo. That should say 17-15. A little bit of confusion. Looks like the coaches are talking it over. Nope, confirmed at 18-14. Menlo with service. Lancers to return. Nice dig from Dia Dressel, but nobody's there to get the second hit. Ball goes into the net and down. It'll be a point for the Lancers, who now trail by 3. Libero Jenna Adams back to serve. Here's Lita Vandermeer. Nice dig on the back row. Barely up in the net. Tipped and bobbled around the net. Lancers come up with it. And that was Mia Vandermeer with a block. Look at her on the near side by the net. Far side, excuse me. And she's back to serve. Great rally. Nothing you can do about that. Great kill from Bridget Canty. Had all the time in the world. There's Canty on your far side. She'll come off screen. Canty to serve. Menlo returns. Vandermeer back row. Ball's going out of bounds on the far side. Libero Jessica Houghton dives for it when it was clearly out of bounds. Mental error there from the libero. The Menlo Knights now lead by 2, 19-17, and we'll take a timeout here on KMVT 15. Welcome back, KMVT 15 coverage of high school volleyball. Lancers and Knights, 19-17, a 2-point lead for the Menlo Knights, who also won the first game, 25-23. Trailing by 2, Lancers to serve. It'll be Bridget Canty from the back row. Back row to back row, out of bounds, point Menlo. Mia Vandermeer up to serve now, with her squad leading by 3. Two Knights go diving for it here on the near side. Not sure if the camera picked it up, but looks like one of them ran into the bench. Or close to it. They're all right. 2-point lead for the Menlo Knights. They return now. Here's Vandermeer from the back row. What a kill. Even better return for Menlo. Out of bounds. St. Francis to serve. Nice little tip, heads up play. That's Dia Dressel, another point, 21-19. The Knights have a 2-point lead. Late in game 2. They won the first game 25-23 over St. Francis, and they lead 21-19 here in game 2 with the serve. Kristen Sellers back to serve. Izzy Knox, libero with the dig from the back row. Great kill from St. Francis right in the chest of Jessica Houghton. Perfect placement. That was Carly Deal. Right in the back right corner. Watch this targeting. Line judge had to get out of the way. 21-20, 1 point lead for Menlo. Here's Bayer. Service into the net. Costly mistakes like that, can't afford them this late in the game down the stretch. 22-20. Menlo with a 2 point lead. And the serve. Here's Dia Dressel. Houghton dives and gets it. Great play. Dressel from the back row. Knox with a dig. Point Lancers. Dagny Duncan. Well, it didn't look pretty, but it worked. 1 point lead for Menlo. Lancers trailing. St. Francis to serve. Houghton digs. Here's a little tip set from Mack. Great block. Carly Deal at the net. Ties it up at 22. Here's Deal. Back to the action, tied at 22. St. Francis to serve. Vandermeer returns. Menlo can't get there in time. St. Francis has come back. They lead by a 1, 23-22. Timeout called for by head coach Steve Cavella. Here on KMVT 15, we'll be back. 1 point lead for St. Francis with the serve. Trailing by 1 in the match, however. Menlo's up 1-0. Tips the net down and in. A little bit of luck never hurt anybody. They lead by 2. Amanda Hubbard to serve. Houghton digs in the back row. Over to Vandermeer for the kill. Tipped and out. Point Menlo. They trail by 1. Hubbard cheering on her teammates in the back row. Jessica Houghton to serve for Menlo. Huge point here. Good serve. St. Francis has got it. And the kill. Put a nail in the coffin. 25-23. St. Francis takes game 2. So same score, different winner here in game 2. Menlo took game 1, 25-23. St. Francis responds by winning game 2, 25-23.
Ever since we moved to the United States, Palo Alto Medical Foundation has been taking care of our health. We love our doctor. She is always ready to listen to us and is very professional and answers all our questions and is very reassuring. PAMF has been there not just for my own family, but for the whole community, whether they're seeing patients or providing doctors for our free medical clinic.
Welcome back to KMVT 15 Sports. The St. Francis Lancers at home against the visiting Menlo Knights. 1-1 so far in the match. Menlo took game 1, 25-23. Same score in the second, but St. Francis on top, so it's 1-1. Starting game 3, coming to you from Raskov Gymnasium at St. Francis High School. It's actually the last game that's ever going to be played in this gymnasium. They're building a brand new one next door. And this is the nightcap. Final game ever to be played here. We're getting started with game 3. 1-1 between Menlo and St. Francis. Peyton Mack in the middle. First point of game 3. Interesting bit of history between the two head coaches. Menlo is coached by Steve Cavella, who is in his first season as the head coach of the Menlo Knights. Formerly, he was an assistant varsity coach of the boys team at St. Francis. Now, who was the head coach when he was the assistant coach there? none other than Mike Rubin, who is in his first season as the head coach of the St. Francis girls team. So these two head coaches have coached with each other in the past. Rubin, it's his first season as the girls coach. He's been with the boys team for the past 10 years at St. Francis. And for the past 2 years, he's also been the freshman girls coach. Finds himself in a 1-1 tie. Point Lancers there, they lead by 1. 2-1. Make that 3-1. Jenna Adams still to serve. Return comes straight back into the net. Net violation against St. Francis. To my count, that's their 4th of the match. They've given up 4 points to Menlo. Excuse me. The net violation was called against Menlo, so just 3 against in the game for St. Francis. Oh, great heads-up play there for Menlo's Elisa Merton. Saw an opening, down and in. Heads-up play, 4-2 Lancers. Menlo with the serve, trailing by 2. Here's Merton. Merton with a nice dig as well. Over to Vandermeer. Ball got lost up in the rafters, and the Lancers lost track of it. Merton still serving for Menlo, trailing by 1. Well, I'm not sure if she meant to hit it like that. That was Bridget Canty. Looks like she lost the handle on the kill, but it worked out. 2-point lead for the Lancers. Canty to serve. Into the net. 5-4. Lita Vandermeer back to serve for Menlo. Point St. Francis. Izzy Knox to serve for the Lancers. Here it is. Houghton digs in the back row. Merton. Vandermeer to dig. Merton to set. Near side, that's Dia Dressel. Tips it over. Point Lancers, they lead 7-5. If you're just joining us, it's 1-1 for the match. Menlo and St. Francis each took a game apiece by the same score of 25-23. Bayer to serve in the back row. Dia Dressel out of bounds for Menlo. Eight to 5 in favor of the home team. Bayer still to serve. Left side to Dressel, goes straight over, immediately killed. Vandermeer digs back row. Merton still alive at the net. Bit of confusion. Houghton now digs. Here's Vandermeer from the back row. Merton, that's the second or third time that we've seen her do that. Heads up play, catches the defense sleeping. 8-6. There's Merton. Eight to 6 now, Lancers leading. Ball sails out of bounds, too strong. 9-6, a 3-point lead for the Lancers. Here's Amanda Hubbard. Serving for St. Francis. Houghton digs in the back row. Merton sets. Dressel from the left side. Carly Deal, what a kill, near side, great play. 10-6, that's the largest lead of the match for St. Francis, a 4-point lead. Hubbard to serve. Dressel to Merton, back to Dressel, back row. Jenna Adams goes diving for it. Maybe she shouldn't have, maybe she should have, hard to tell. It might have been going out, maybe not. In any event, she goes for it, doesn't get it. It's 10-7 Lancers. Here's Merton to serve, into the net. 10-8. 11-7, excuse me. A 4-point lead, and Carly Deal is serving. Jessica Houghton digs. And Lisa Merton over to Vandermeer. Ball goes up into the roof. Still alive, Lancerville got it. Deal mishandles it. Service to Jessica Houghton. Menlo trailing by 3. Tips the net. Good dig from Adams. Duncan punches it into the net, 11-9. Houghton still the serve. Duncan gets another shot, this time gets it across. Houghton digs. There's Deal in the back for the Lancers. Across, great kill, Deal gets it back. Into the net, that's Mia Vandermeer for Menlo. Lita's little sister. 12-9, 3-point lead for the home team. Jenna Adams to serve. Here it is, Houghton digs. Vandermeer gets up. Bridget Canty mishandled it. It came off of her hand funny, but it happened to go where nobody was waiting. 13-9, a 4-point lead for St. Francis. From the near side, strong kill from Canty, trying to make up for last time. Too strong, out of bounds, 13-10. There's Kristen Bayer, the 6'2 senior. No trouble with that, 14-10. St. Francis is one of the state's most successful girls volleyball programs. Here's Houghton from the back row. Merton sets across for Vandermeer. Bump set spike. Trims that 4-point lead down to 3, 14-11 St. Francis. Here's Vandermeer, watch here on the left side, right side. Both Jenna Adams and Bridget Canty let that one go, but it stays in. Only one team has won more state girls volleyball titles than St. Francis. Back left corner, Vandermeer goes rolling for it, doesn't get it. 15-12. St. Francis has 9. Only one other team has one more. Houghton digs. Merton sets from the middle, back to Merton. Here's Houghton again. Dressel. There's Bayer again. Kristen Bayer down the middle, 16-12. So St. Francis has 9, and the only other one with more is Archbishop Mitty. Was 110. So first-year head coach Mike Rubin inherits a very successful team. KMVT would like to thank our sponsor, the PAMF, Palo Alto Medical Foundation, for bringing you this season of high school sports coverage. Choose your PAMF doctor today. Welcome back to KMVT 15 Sports. 16-12 in favor of the Lancers. Serve grazes the net. Merton sets up Vandermeer on the far side. Glancing hit. Lancers have it. Great dig there from Merton in the back row. Vandermeer. Adams can't get there in time. 13-16. Menlo trailing by 3. Mia Vandermeer will serve for Menlo. There's Carly Diro. Spike goes out of bounds, back row. And it'll be another 4-point lead for St. Francis. Excuse me, a 4-point lead for St. Francis. Tipped and out of bounds there. St. Francis takes a point. They now lead by 4. Stephanie Carlson to serve. Carlson diving in the back, can't get there. Menlo scores. They keep themselves in it. They've been down by 4, down by 3, 2, 4, all around that range for the last 10 points or so. They're keeping themselves alive. They trail 14-17 as Kristen Sellers steps back to serve. Nice diving play by Houghton. And another great play from St. Francis, Izzy Knox. Here's Deal. Houghton digs in the back. Dress a little tip, down and in. Another point for Menlo. They now trail by 2. Service out of bounds, back row. 3-point lead for St. Francis. 18-15 for the Lancers. Vandermeer digs for Menlo. This is Peyton Mack with the kill. Looks like she touched the net. No, that was the Lancers who touched the net. That's their 4th one of the match. 4 net violations on the day for St. Francis. And Menlo now trails by just 2. Here's Dia Dressel. Carly Deal. What a play from Deal. Lancers lead by 3, and Deal goes back to serve. Here she is. Vandermeer gets it down. 19-17, Menlo down by 2. Houghton de libero to serve. Deal returns, ball bounces off the rafters. Adams has got it. Cross to Menlo, Houghton digs. Elisa Merton heads up play again. She does that really well. She's done that 4 or 5 times so far today. Brings her Knights within 1, 19-18. Houghton still to serve. Duncan from the middle, tipped and out of bounds. So that'll be the Lancers point. That was Kristen Sellers. Just grazed her finger there in the back left. Jenna Adams to serve, a 2-point lead for the Lancers. Dressel returns. Merton sets up Vandermeer on the far side. Merton over to Vandermeer. 2019, Menlo scores. Nice diving play from Merton there. Oh, great play from Danchin. Sort of mistimed the jump, but got back into it. Into the net again. That's the Lancers' 5th net violation of the day. They now are all tied up with Menlo, 20 apiece. Elisa Merton to serve. Tie game at 20. Jenny Kellogg with the kill. Lancers lead by 1. So Menlo's fighting their way back into it. I believe it was 17-14. St. Francis leading by 1, 21-20. Yeah, Lancers led 17-14, and they now lead 21-20. So a nice little 6-3 run before the Lancers scored that last one to make it 6-4. Menlo digs. Here's Vandermeer. An unorthodox play. That was Julia Devine for St. Francis. Got the ball with her elbow. So a 2-point lead for St. Francis. We'll take a break. 22-20, Menlo trailing. Welcome back. 22-20, Lancers leading. Ava Gustafson to serve. Menlo returns. Here's Merton. Mia Vandermeer far side into the net. Lancers can't get there. Point Menlo, 22-21. A very even match so far. 1 game apiece, 25-23 the score both times. Here we are, 22-21. Vandermeer serves. Gustafson to set. Vandermeer digs. Merton mishandles it. Sorry, Dressel mishandles it. Goes into the net. 2-point lead for St. Francis. Izzy Knox back to serve. Her squad leading by 2 and 2 points away from a win. Here's Vandermeer from the back row. Soft hit. Little tip up at the net. Somebody hit the net. Menlo hit the net. Net violation, and it's a point for St. Francis. They're now 1 point away from taking game 3. Houghton digs, back row. Here's Merton. Vandermeer kills. Great dig from Gustafson. Back to Gustafson, over across to Menlo. Houghton digs. Merton. Jenna Adams, play of the game so far. Point Menlo. 22-24 now. Timeout taken by St. Francis. We'll be right back. Welcome back, KMVT 15. Menlo serving down by 2. Adams digs, back row. Here's Deal, pokes it over. Menlo's got it. Vandermeer digs. Dressel across. Adams for St. Francis. Here's Carly Deal. What a kill, down and in. Point St. Francis, they take game 3. And this game is brought to you with help from our presenting sponsor, the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, a Sutter Health affiliate. Choose your PAMP doctor today. Welcome back, KMVT 15 Sports. 2-1 Lancers on top of the Menlo Knights, starting game 4. Adams digs. And Bayer gets the Lancers on the board first here in game 4, 1-0. 25-23 Menlo in game 1. 25-23 St. Francis in game 2. And St. Francis took game 3 as well, 25-22. Very close match. About as close as you can get without going to extra points. 1-0 Lancers. Houghton digs for Menlo. Here's a little set across. Lita Vandermeer mishandles it into the net, 2-0 Lancers. Gustafson serves, Houghton digs. Merton sets up Peyton Mack. Great heads up play from Houghton. Gets it across, keeps it alive. Adams, Gustafson. Here's Vandermeer. Adams, little tip across. Peyton Mack digs. Merton over to Vandermeer. Menlo's on the board here in game 4, 2-1. Houghton goes into the net, 3-1 St. Francis. If you're just tuning in, this is the very last game ever to be played in Raskob Gymnasium. Vandermeer digs. Merton behind her to Mia Vandermeer, little sister. Out of bounds, point St. Francis 4-1. Raskob will be torn down. And this is the very last game ever to be played here. New gym is being built right across the way here on the campus. 4-1, St. Francis serving, out of bounds, point Menlo. St. Francis comes into tonight with a record of 7-4. They're 2-0 at home. Menlo is 6-6 and 0-2 on the road. Non-conference matchup. Here's service from the Lancers, out of bounds, 5-3. Menlo trailing by 2. Five to 3, up by 2, the Lancers are. Ava Gustafson mishandles it, 5-4. Pretty good crowd here for St. Francis. A lot of creative chants coming from the student section. 5-4. Vandermeer to serve. Adams digs it even though it was going out of bounds. Still alive. Ball's down. Menlo's got it. Vandermeer calling for it. Here it comes. Back row. Ava Gustafson sets up deal. Tipped and down and in. Point Lancers. Vandermeer back to serve. Here it comes. Back row middle, Izzy Knox. (6-5), point Menlo. 2-1 St. Francis in the match. They lost the first set to Menlo and took the next two. Vandermeer's serve goes way out of bounds. Tied up 6 apiece. Substitutions coming in on both sides. Bridget Canty and Amanda Hubbard coming in. Hubbard to serve. Knights waiting. Houghton to Merton. Vandermeer, back row middle, diving play from Izzy Knox, but she's not there in time. Menlo goes up again, 7-6. Mia Vandermeer back to serve for Menlo. Knights up by 1. That hits Peyton Mack in the head. Had no idea where it was. Menlo drops 1 and it's 7 apiece. Carly Deal will go back to serve now. Deal, Adams, and Hubbard in the back row. Kellogg, Canty, and Bayer in the front. Peyton Mack punches it into the net, too strong. 8-7 Lancers. That's Mack on your camera there. There's Houghton. And Deal to serve. Vandermeer, tip across. Hubbard sets up Kellogg, no dice. Too strong, out of bounds, 8-8. Mack keeps it alive, bobbles it, drops it in. 9-8. There's Mack in the center of your screen. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there for the Lancers. Easy serve and just dropped in. 3 people staring at each other. That'll be an ace for Kristen Sellers, and she continues her service. 10-8, Knights up. Adams digs. Hubbard sets up Bridget Canty. It's Canty far side. Nothing Houghton could do on the back right. Here's Adams to serve. Out of bounds by about 6 inches on the back row, 11-9. Menlo takes it. Here goes Vandermeer, little tip. Nice dive from Adams. Still alive, Menlo has it. They're going to replay the point because of an inadvertent whistle. A lot of heavy boos from the St. Francis side. 11-9, playing it again. Dressel serves into the net, and it's 11-10. Menlo serving. Ooh, great kill. Right on target, point Lancers, 12-11. Izzy Knox to serve for St. Francis. Vandermeer mishandles it into the net. Looks like it came off of her wrist. She just misjudged it. (12-12), all tied up. Seems to be a recurring theme. Houghton dives for it, doesn't get it. Point Lancers, they lead by 1, 13-12. Lancers win this, they take the match. They lead 2-1. Menlo took game 1, and St. Francis the next 2. Here we are in game 4, 13-12, St. Francis. Izzy Knox will serve. Menlo waiting. Here's Vandermeer. Adams in the back row, the libero there in the yellow jersey. There's Houghton, her counterpart. Oh, three Lancers converge on it. Collided into each other. Watch there in the center of your screen. Nobody's hurt, just exciting. 13-13, all tied up. Here's Alyssa Merton, she serves. Adams gets it in the back row. It's gonna be Carly Deal, good dig from Houghton, hits the roof, comes down strongly, nothing doing. 14-13 Lancers. That was Ashley Dreyer. Ball came down at her a lot faster than she was expecting after bouncing off the roof. 14-13, Lancers on top. This will be Bayer back to serve for St. Francis. Vandermeer digs. Sets across. Deal gets it. And there's Bridget Canty, too strong. 14 apiece. Adams digs. Knox sends it over. Houghton grabs it. Dressel tries to get it with her fist, but she mistimes it. Drops it into the net, 15-14. There's Dressel. Rachel Bowe, that's the first we've heard of her tonight. Heads up play from Bowe. 16-14, Lancers up 2. Dressel, Adams, Knox. Easy point for the Lancers. Ashley Dreyer and Lita Vandermeer just stared at each other like, hey, I thought you had it. No, I thought you had it. 17-14, three-point lead for St. Francis. We'll be back. Welcome back. Three-point lead for the Lancers. 17-14 here in game 4 and leading 2-1 in the match. Menlo to return. Houghton gets it. 1-2-3, not enough. Sort of bounced off Mia Vandermeer's knee. Before you knew it, three hits, and it's too late for Menlo to do anything. 18-14, Lancers up. Here's Vandermeer, back row. Adams digs. I'll tell you what, that was a point Menlo. Ball came out of bounds on the spike, but it almost took the head off of Ashley Dreyer. Watch this. I couldn't quite see it. Number 10 there. Nearly took her head off. 18-15, three-point lead for the Lancers. Great kill there. Bridget Canty froze the defense in their tracks. A 4-point lead. 19-15, a 4-point lead for St. Francis, on the verge of closing this out, leading 2-1 in this best-of-5 matchup. Dreyer couldn't get there in time. It's now a 5-point lead for St. Francis. They lead 20-15 and 2-1 in the match. I'd like to remind you that this game is brought to you with help from our presenting sponsor, the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, a Sutter Health affiliate. Choose your PAMF doctor today. Welcome back. 5-point lead for the Lancers, 20-15 here in Game 4. They lead 2-1 overall over the visiting Menlo Knights. Lancers looking to close out Raskov Gymnasium in style. This is the last game to be played here, with a new gym going up across the way. Vandermeer tipped it across. Lancers return. Heads up play, Peyton Mack gets it down. Bobbled at the net, who gets it? Menlo's got the point. That was Molly Eberton. Haven't heard much from her tonight. There's Eberton on the left. Kristen Sellers to serve, a 4-point deficit, Menlo trailing. Oh, bump set spike. 1, 2, 3. Bridget Canty once again. 21-16, a 5-point lead. Lancers 4 points away. Victory inevitable at this point, or seemingly inevitable. And Adams, just like that. Whoa, I don't know about that call. Everybody in the gym saw that go out of bounds. But the line judge rules it a point. Oh, looks like Houghton's head is in the way. You can't quite see it. I don't know. I thought it was for sure out. 22-16, a 6-point lead for the Lancers. Here's Dressel. Adams can't get to it in the back row. Point Menlo. A 5-point lead now, 22-17. A very excitable mood here in the gym. Lancers fans can feel it. Especially after that, Vandermeer off her hands out of bounds, a 6-point lead, and the Lancers are 2 points away from taking home their 8th victory of the year. Substitutions. Gustafson in for the Lancers. She'll serve. Knights waiting. It'll be Houghton to dig. And Dressel can't get there in the back row. 24-17. Match point for St. Francis. They lead 2-1 in the match and 24-17. Here's the serve. Vandermeer over to Mack. Tip down and in. Point Menlo, just when you thought it was almost over. Chance of I believe that we will win coming from the St. Francis faithful. Menlo down 6. Houghton to serve. Adams digs. Gustafson. Vandermeer. Spike down and in. 24-19. A little bit of momentum. Menlo trying to stave off the loss. Houghton to serve. Gustafson out of bounds. Just like that, 3 straight points for Menlo. They're not out of the woods yet. 1 point, any mistake by Menlo, and St. Francis takes the match. Houghton serves, barely gets over the net. Here's Gustafson, near side, spike, over and across, and that'll do it, folks. Your final, 3-1 in favor of the St. Francis Lancers. They move to 8-4 on the year and 3-0 at home. Menlo drops to 6-7 and 0-3 on the road. Thanks for tuning in to KMVT 15's broadcast of this matchup between the St. Francis Lancers and the Menlo Knights. Lancers take home the W 3-1. Menlo took the first game, but the Lancers ran off 3 straight to take home the W. They're now 8-4 and 3-0 at home. Menlo drops to 6-7 and 0-3 on the road. the final game in Raskov Gymnasium has come to a close, and they will be tearing down this building shortly. Thanks for tuning in. KMVT 15 Sports. I'm Rhett Anderson. See you next time.